Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back, and we're going to be beginning with session 2 very shortly on smart meters as the foundation for digitalization of discoms. And this session is supported by the All India Discoms Association, and this session is going to explore how smart metering is no longer a technological add-on, but the very foundation on which the digital future of India's power distribution sector is being built. So I'm going to very shortly invite our panelists to be seated on stage so that we can begin. I invite you all to please settle in. This session will be chaired by Dr. Ashish Kumar Goel, Chairman UPPCL and General Secretary AIDA. And our moderator, Shri Shashank Mishra, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Power, will lead the deliberations. There will be a presentation by Shri Anil Raval, MD IntelliSmart and Chair of ISGF Working Group of AMISPs. So let me then take the privilege of inviting our chair first, Dr. Ashish Kumar Goel, Chairman UPPCL and General Secretary AIDA on stage. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause. Back on stage, please. Welcome back, sir. May I invite our moderator for the session, Shri Shashank Mishra, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Power. Warm welcome, sir. I'd like to now also invite at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, our panelists and our presenter, Mr. Anil Raval, MD IntelliSmart and Chair of ISGF Working Group of AMISPs. May I invite, welcome, sir. May I invite our panelists, Ms. Sonia Sethi, ACS and General Manager, Mumbai. Oh, in place of that, we have Shri Suresh Makwana. Shri Suresh Makwana, Chief Engineer, BEST, Mumbai. Shri Suresh Makwana joining us. There he is. Welcome, sir. May I invite Shri Sandeep Sinha, Vice President, Sales, Trilliant Networks. There he is. Let's welcome them, ladies and gentlemen. After lunch, I hope that we have all that energy to burn. Thank you. And may I also invite Shri Anup Kaur Bowdary, CEO EDX Wireless. So let's welcome Shri Anup Kaur Bowdary. Miss Anup Kaur Bowdary. There she is. Miss Anup Kaur Bowdary, CEO EDX Wireless. Let's welcome the lady with a huge round of applause. Okay, and joining us on the panel, we also have Shri Anand Budholia, President IT and CIO BSES. Let's welcome Shri Anand Budholia, President IT and CIO BSES. There he is. Welcome, sir. And Shri Gurpreet Oberoi, Chief Business Officer, Kimball. There he is. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this session has 2 panel sessions on the same theme with different sets of panelists. The first panel is this one with Shri Suresh Makwana from BEST Mumbai, Shri Sandeep Sinha from Trilliant Networks, Ms. Anup Kaur Bowdary, CEO EDX Wireless, Shri Anand Budholia, BSES, President IT and CIO, and Shri Gurpreet Oberoi from Kimball. So these are going to be our first set of panelists, and thereafter there will be another panel where we will have Shri Atul Bali, Director NSGM, Shri Dvijadas Basak, CEO TPDDL, Shri Rahul Kumar, MD North Bihar Power Distribution Company, Shri Tepo Hemia, CEO Wirepass, Shri Vivek Chandra, Head IT, MPP UK VVCCL, Shri Ashutosh Goel, CMD Allied Engineering Works, and we also have Jaideep Singh Ji, Advisor Strategy and Stakeholder Engagement with Radius. So those will be our panelists. But first we will start with our moderator, our chair setting the context, and of course a presentation, and then that will lead us into the panel discussion. So with that, I'm going to request our moderator, Shri Shashank Mishra Ji, to please take over.
So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to the chair and to all my fellow panelists. A very important session that we are now leading into, which is the use of digital systems into the distribution sector. That is the digitalization of the distribution companies. As we've heard in the morning sessions also, there's a huge load of data which is getting generated in the distribution companies, but that is hardly put to use. Even today, the solution providers, if they want data from the companies to start working on a solution, it's very difficult to get a data. First, they have to sign the NDA, though most of our even the MISP agreements, they mandate that there has to be the anonymized data being made available to the distribution companies. Once they are anonymized, obviously the layer of privacy is definitely addressed. But still, even today, we have been conducting rounds of programs under the name of Powerthon. For that also, we need to get the NDA signed, and then the solutions can get rolled out. But though digitalization is something which is still growing in the sector, the MI system has definitely given a good shape to it, has given a good part to it. So as of now, we are in a position to get a huge load of data, whether it's in respect of the billing system, whether it is in respect of the energy consumption, the analytics based on the energy consumption. Going forward, also there is a need to work on the modernization aspect of the distribution sector, the SCADA and the enabling ancillary equipments, be it the RMU, the RTU, the FRTU, and all those equipments. That is going to come. But what should be the way forward? How should the data be driven? How should the data be assimilated? Then further, how could that data be further utilized by the solution provider? This is something that is very critical to this sector right now. This sector being evolving rapidly in this current scenario with the growing renewable energy integration, with the growing pace of EV integration into the sector. Even our distribution systems, they were never trained, equipped to handle the two-way flow of the communication, the energy. But now that is the norm. So how are systems going to address this issue or to deal with these challenges? In this background, this session is very, very critical, very important to give the way forward for all of us. And I am delighted to have such a wonderful chair and set of panelists who are sitting on the dais. So we have a presentation from Shri Anil Rawalji, the MD of the IntelliSmart. And IntelliSmart is one of the pioneers in the AMI solutions, the smart meter solutions. So maybe we can start with your presentation. Yeah.
Respected Chair, Dr. Ashish Goel, my fellow panelists, and esteemed audience. First of all, I want to congratulate ISGF for conducting such inclusive and comprehensive dialogue on some of the very sensitive topics on power distribution. And smart metering obviously being one of the pioneer in digitalization, as Shashank ji said, is very important aspect of it. And I am really thankful to the organizers for calling me. When I was thinking of this presentation, my thought was I can speak like a AMISP, I can speak like IntelliSmart, or I should speak like a stakeholder. Critical stakeholder in the journey of power distribution sector digitalization. So I chose to be the third one, and I've tried my level best to balance it out as much as I can, but it's all open to you, and I would request your views on that. Yeah, next slide, please. Can we go next, please? Right, we know this, but then quickly covering that, what are the pillars of RDSS? There are 4 key pillars. One is the reduction in the losses, and second is the ACS error gap, then quality, reliable, affordable power supply, and modernization. So these are the 4 key pillars of the program, which is very, very aspirational program of the country. Yeah. So we know that this is the largest ever digitalization program of the world occurring anywhere, and it's happening on the grassroots level, and would actually have 1.3 trillion losses to be reduced in terms of dollar denomination, and potential to generate about 25 million jobs over the life cycle of the program, and has really massive investment cycle which is triggering, which is $38.5 billion worth of investment cycle is being triggered by this program. It's already revitalizing the Made in India program in terms of manufacturing, in terms of IT and various other solutions. And it would really be very helpful in integrating the renewable and EV mission and all other net zero programs which country is trying to live. But where we stand today, and that's very important to evaluate. So we all are aware with the numbers. About 15 crore, 20 crore tenders have been floated for the meters, and awarded around 15 crore. And about more than 4 crores, 4.5 crore meters have been installed on the ground. This is yearly flow. The way the meters have got installed, you will see FY26, which is still running, has done extremely well. We are at 1.91 crore and it's still half the way. I'm sure we'll be crossing 4. I'm quite confident that as a smart metering program, we'll be crossing 4 crore within this year. Rollout of program is, what's really good about it? Let's understand, we should be proud of the fact this is the world's largest digitalization program running smoothly. It's not an easy job. So rollout of program has been largely smooth. All the projects, almost all the projects across the country have achieved go live, and have been transition has been smooth. There have been no massive hiccups. So that's something beautiful which has happened in the program. Co-ownership has been recognized, rewarded. Wherever co-ownership is good, program has picked extremely well, and it's now settled issue that this program is not a capex program, this is not a contractor program, this is a co-ownership program between the stakeholders. That's very well settled issue now. And user acceptance is increasing. There may be some amount of disagreement on this topic, but my view is user acceptance is increasingly improving. The noise of meter tez chalta hai, smart meter tez chalta hai is almost dying down thanks to the policy of government of check meters. It has almost proven beyond doubt that meter tez nahi chalta hai, and that is adding to the credibility of the program. I would think this is a great victory which we have achieved in FY25, I would say. Consumer is now no more asking no meter, is asking value for money. It's not asking no payment for the electricity. So that's a psyche shift which is already happening across the country. So I would think this is also great positive which we have achieved by having this program, that electricity is no more a free commodity. It is to be paid, and that's realization is happening. So these, I would think, are the clear achievements of the program. And then I try to see that what are the contracts, commercial, I would say hallmark parts of the contract, SBD, what it says, what are the cornerstone parts of the contract. So if you see the timeline, I've tried, it looks a bit complex, but we can make it easy. So this is the broad timeline of the contract. Agreement signing, after agreement signing, you have to achieve go live within 7 months. Then within 18 months, you have to do DT meters and 50% of the consumer meters. And within 27 months, you have to finish the project. Finish means installation has to be complete. And then the O&M phase would run till, say, about 10 years of the total life cycle of the program. So that's the broad contours of the SBD on which it is running currently. Where do we stand? Before that, the most important part of the cycle is go live. What go live means is that the AMISP's IT is seamlessly speaking with the Discom IT in terms of the RMS integration, in terms of MDM integration, in terms of two-way flow of the data. So that's the acceptance of all parts of the IT solution of the AMISP. When it's stamped, it's called go live. Other part which I want to highlight is that which would worry you, means it's not all goody-goody. The worry starts here, that most of the contracts were signed within or before first half of the calendar year 2024. So sometime October, November 23 to May, June 24, most of the contracts which we are looking at today were signed. And by this timeline, they should be through by second half of the calendar year 26. Means something like March, April 26 to July, August 26, they should be complete. 27 months would be completed. So for that, almost in all cases, 18 months milestone has passed. So, but we are not there as per the milestone. So that's the worrisome part of the program. So that's the bit of not so good, which need to be introduced at this stage to the discussion. So what didn't go as planned? If it is not happening the way it was envisaged, and if we moved to a stage and the program was not moved there in terms of progress, what has happened? There have been delayed go-lives. There are manpower mobilization issues, and there is revenue realization. I would classify things in these three main components which have bothered the program so far. And again, aim is not to find faults here, who has done wrong, but aim is to, as we go along, we'll see that what solution should be now tried to do. So just to explain that delayed operation go-live, SBD, as I said, envisages that within 7 months you should be doing 5% of your total meter size or 25,000. So you just test your solution. You just don't give solutions to a discom for their acceptance. You first test it. Test at 25,000 meters or 5%. So most of the AMISP is done at the 25,000, while 5% was there, but mostly 25,000 meters were used for testing the go-live. But go-live got achieved in an average 15 months. If you just go through all the go-lives so far achieved in the country, you would see that under RDSS program, go-live could be achieved in 15 months instead of 7 months. Whether it's really bad, I would believe not. It would sound a bit strange, but I would believe not. Why? Because if you hurriedly achieve the go-live without thoroughly testing the system, you are going to put the wrong foundation for the big, I would say, your house which will come up. So let's have the foundation strong, and to that extent, I feel there's no harm if it took some time. There are manpower mobilization issues. So what are they? See, manpower sometimes is thought as an input. To my mind, it's an output actually. Manpower would be there when the work fronts are there and we can achieve more and more than map. See, ultimately everybody comes to do the business and make some money down the line for contractors, everybody. So if they don't succeed in producing productivity by providing manpower, normally they tend to go away, and that actually disattracts, crowds out smart metering as an attractive avenue of making money. There are multiple infra avenue running today. The roads running, metro running, there's so many projects running. Labor or say manpower, semi-skilled manpower would go where they can make money, and smart metering gets crowded out when you don't give the work front and sufficient money is not made out there. So coming to third part, revenue realizations. As I said, if you see the cornerstone of the document, one cornerstone is the DDF. It says direct debit facility. How this facility works is that there is a quadripartite agreement. There is a DDF agent, there is a bank where the money is deposited, there is MISP, and there is a discom. And agreement is that money would be paid out from this account for the AMISP so that metering program moves, and that would generate revenue for the discom, so that discom can really feed rest of the solution providers and suppliers of the value chain. So that's the key thing. There have been gaps. Second is the SAT. I'll explain SAT. SAT is system acceptance testing. Means as I said, IT is to be tested, not only for go live, but every month IT solution is to be tested. So that's SAT. So SAT has differential definition. It's not defined thoroughly well. So every discom tends to do in their own way, and perfectly there is no harm, because discoms have been doing things for now long and they can't really change in one day. So what's required is that if we can have one definition, that will help the speed. So when SATs are not happening, revenue is not realized, the strain comes on the program and the pace up doesn't happen. Ultimately, pace up requires lots of money to be infused. The money infusion is slow, revenue is slow, so that impacts the speed of the program. Not that AMISP done extremely well. It's not so. Let's be clear. There is journey for AMISPs also. And let's see where they didn't do well, where they should have done better than what they have done. And that's my view on this, depending on what I interact with AMISPs in different forums. I think they should have accelerated meter installation and commissioning. So if there were issues, how could they have done? One of the issues of manpower has been not only that funds are not there, but skilled manpower is to be generated. For example, some of the meters like DT meters. There could be question that, okay, consumer meters didn't happen, why DT meter didn't happen? So they should be setting up center of excellence for generating semi-skilled manpower on their own. One we have attempted in Dadri in UP Discoms only, where we are producing lots of DT meter installers. I think it's too less for the need and there would have been more. So speed has got impacted due to that also. 100% billing for the Discom. Another problem which has arisen on account of AMISP program is that bills are not being generated to the extent of 100%. I would think that if AMISPs are having issues on the never known communication or communication of the issues, then they should provide the bill reads to the Discom so that at least revenue is not impacted. There also AMISPs are lacking. I think lots of work is required to be done there. Then strengthen data communication and system integration. So there are issues on communication side also. So lots of work required to be done there also by AMISPs. And improve the project O&M. I'm personally realizing lots of heat after we have completed 5 million recently across the states. We have realized that our O&M is not there to the extent where it should have been. After all, holding 50 lakh consumers is no less than a big Discom. Are we there in terms of serving them? We need to be doing more as AMISP, I would believe. So what was envisaged, what has been achieved? Let's see step by step. Operation Go Live we have discussed, could not be. It has taken 15 months. DT meter installation could not be. As he said, 18 months it should have been complete. Almost nowhere it's complete. Then RFP says, the document says that 20% contiguous area would be given to AMISP for smart meter installation. Unfortunately, that couldn't happen. Why it couldn't happen? That when smart metering started, there were lots of resistance, and Discom rightly so said that don't hurry up with the mass metering. Go to government metering, go to commercial metering, go to DT metering, go to new service connections. Then that 20% premise got defeated. It was anticipated that 20% of the area would be given in one go, and you can really put in lots of manpower, productivity would be there, speed would be there. But due to realistic reasons, that couldn't happen, and so the speed couldn't happen. Project financing has suffered, and revenue flow has suffered. As I said, DDF could not be materialized. See, contract is contract. After it has been signed, it can't be pegged to other reasons. Somehow we are not able to do that. DDF is still not active almost in all places. Adherence to payment process, which was, as I said, is a cornerstone of the process, it couldn't happen. There are still delays, like capex treatment is there, it takes months to get in some of the discoms. That's another thing which has impacted the revenue and has impacted the speed of the program. Now what we do? Are we really playing a blame game here? Are we saying Discom didn't do this, MISP didn't do this? That will take us nowhere actually. What I wanted to bring out, the delays happened. Delays happen due to various reasons. What we should do from here? First of all, project timeline. Now it's very clear that 18 months have passed. We are left with average 9 to 12 months. Projects are 15%, 16%, 20% complete. In our case, it's 25% complete. 75% still pending. In almost all AMISPs, this is the situation. Let's revisit it realistically whether timelines are real or not. Opening of all work fronts. Now there is no time. We have to be opening up, giving the areas, and let's do our best. Whatever best we can do in terms of opening of work fronts, that's the need of the time. DDF implementation and SAT standardization. As I said, SAT definition needs to be standardized. There can't be 10 definitions of SAT. We need to work a lot on that. Then training and capacity building. That's a very sensitive area. I think as IntelliSmart and some of the MISPs have done their trainings, I think we are just too short of the requirement. If you want to do so many DT meters, if you want to do so many industrial, commercial, if you want to do so many three-phase meters, we need to have skilled workforce, which is still not there. Lots of work required to be done there. Consumer awareness. There is some amount of lurking doubt in the minds of all the stakeholders that they, SBD says, incidentally, very strangely, SBD says that AMISP has to plan the PR. Implementation is left to the discoms. This is the SBD content. Unfortunately, it didn't come out like that. AMISPs are doing whatever they are doing for their own course. We need to have a concerted program at the national level. Why can't we say boldly that smart meter is good for all of us? Why can't we say at a loud voice? Why can't we tell everybody and sensitize everybody? That will lay the ground for the lower level, ground level PR, and the speed would increase. And then steering committee. Every state has some issues. Almost every state. Why can't we have a state-wise steering committees? Reviews are fine. Reviews should happen. They're happening very well. I would think that there's a significant drive from the Ministry of Power on that, and DISCOMs also. But there are issues which AMISPs think that DISCOM would solve. DISCOM thinks this is AMISP problem. So that's continuing. We need to have reconciliatory measures here which would solve the things. What program needs from stakeholders? I recall a story of Vikram Betal, where Betal comes and sits on the shoulder of Vikram and asks questions. If Vikram replies correctly, then Betal would go but instantaneously come back with the other question. And if he doesn't reply, his heads would be broken into thousands of pieces. Now I'm not comparing Ministry of Power with Vikram here, but that's the way the life is. So there has to be some anchor.
Sorry, Anilji, can I request you to
Yeah,
conclude?
just finishing, last line.
Yeah.
So there has to be some anchor which will solve the problems. So what program needs is, first of all, a conciliation committee, which will solve the problem between AMISPs and different stakeholders, and that's provided in the SBD. Second is defining SAT. We have discussed, no separate discussion required on that. Then nodal agencies and utilities to treat DDF as a non-negotiable instrument. It still be negotiated, it has to be kindly stopped. Launch a nationwide campaign, which I already briefed. And then last part, but very, very important. After all, metering was not done for loss reduction only. Loss reduction is the first use case of metering program. It's being done for the significant upside which is available to the DISCOM if the data is utilized. Whether it's coming up, data is coming out. Whether it's being provided, it is being provided. But whether it's being used, it is still not. Now the debate is that who should use it? So there's a clear provision in SBD, which I quoted it here, that data-driven analytics reports by leveraging AI/ML-based technologies. This is a line written there, but contours are not clear. I think we need to clear the contours so that AMISP can put their full force onto this topic and bring value to the DISCOMs for which it was made. And that's all from my side. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Anilji, for setting the context and giving the background to the entire smart meter rollout program and how that has been going forward and what are the issues. I think few of the issues also came up during the opening session, wherein certain issues which were highlighted in the course of earlier discussions have been kind of addressed. For example, the conciliation committee or the steering committee, that point has been duly recognized and has been responded. But still, there is a long way to go. There are certain very pertinent issues which have been flagged. For example, the timeline of the entire contract and how is that going to be addressed by the different utilities, because there have been hiccups, there have been ups and downs in the execution of the contract from either side. So how that is going to be addressed, and that has to be addressed on priority. Another issue which has been aptly identified, the SAT and the DDF non-compliance. These two are another very critical issue. Though during the initial phases, the settlement of the issues, the confrontation issues, not really confrontation, but the areas of rather disagreement between the two stakeholders, especially the distribution company and the MISP were going on. But now, since the development of the app, the dashboards have kind of settled, so now it's a good time that we should start thinking on the execution of the contract as it is expected to be executed, the SAT and the DDF compliances. And campaign is another very big thing. Though ministry is working on it, very soon we should be going ahead with the campaign. But still, yeah, that is a very particular point. So in that context, now we have representatives from the solution providers and from the meter manufacturers. So may I request Mr. Sandeep Sinha ji, VP Trilliant Networks, to give the presentation or the remarks on this issue, please. Over to you. Yeah, so you can, please.
Can I have a presentation?
I would request you to stick to the timelines because already
So I'll try to wrap it up quickly.
And I also have a flight to catch.
So yeah, good afternoon everyone, and I thank Star India Smart Grid Forum for giving me the opportunity to speak on this subject, and it's a very critical subject. So the topic is about smart meter as a foundation for digitalization of Discom, and you know, the program started long back, and it has gone through various phases. Can I have the next slide, please? Oh, it's here. Okay, thank you. So just to give you a brief about Trilliant has got around 200 plus customers across the globe. We have got like 66% of the customer who have using multiple solutions. We have around 40 million endpoints deployed, 95 IPRs in our name, and we have integrated with more than 340 different kind of devices across the world. So we are present all across the globe. In India, we have got our headquarters at Noida, and we have got very significant presence in Asia Pacific. So coming to that smart meter journey in India, we started with adaptation and migration that was started more than a decade ago, and smart meter with two-way communication. The standards were developed and the concepts were initiated in India. What followed was the next phase, which was pilots. We had a lot of pilots which were deployed, and based on those deployment of pilots, there was staging. That means the pilots which were deployed were validated for their functionalities and different use cases, what they were thought to be deployed for. And we are now finally in this stage where it is now under production. We are having large rollouts now in the tune of like already 50 million meter deployed, more to come, 200 plus million meter already awarded. So we have now reached this journey where we look at the huge volume of data and how we should be using those data effectively so that it can be used much more in a better way than just for billing purpose itself. So this is the whole AMI network, what it looks. There are two different communication setups, what we are effectively being used in India. Okay. So, no, I'll just come to that.
In the implementation stage, so come up with the challenges and further.
So what I will be talking about, say, about the uses, how the data which we are collecting can be utilized further.
Maybe you can quickly go through the use cases. Go to the use cases.
Right. So with the, one area what we have already seen in this present case is we are using smart meter operation centers, where the visibility of entire data is available to the discoms, and they are able to effectively see what the data and MI data what they have. But the data utilization factor, I will come to that part. So this will help in real time and monitoring and consumption of the losses for the utility. It will help utility in the automated billing. It can be used for TOD tariff and dynamic tariff. It can be used for prepaid metering, that is already being used as of today. Then theft detection and loss protection, prevention, which we call as a non-technical losses. Then renewable, effective integration of the renewable energy, fault detection of feeders and transformers. With the data, you can also identify that part. Outage management. This is one application which is extensively used the data from the smart meters. Load forecastings and consumer segmentations. In addition to these, we also have the use cases where we can use the data for EV charging, understanding where the EV charging setups could be put and how effectively it can be utilized. So these are the data utilization use cases, what we see forthcoming with the entire data that is being collected from this smart meter. So Trilliant offers the head-end system for cellular as well as the RF, that is hybrid systems, and it gives the network visibility for the entire network. So where the data are coming and where the meters are placed. We help with dashboards, we help with providing the analytics, as well as we provide the consultancy services for the companies as far as project management and defining the business processes are concerned. So this is about the brief as how the journey has started and where we are today and what effectively we can use in future with the data which is available.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sinha. So in this background, we've heard Mr. Raval on from the part of MISP. We've heard the solution providers from the part of Trillions. Can we now listen from Mr. Suresh Makwanaji, who is from BEST, and BEST has also very aggressively taken up the smart metering works, and they started very fast. So, and there have been certain issues which have been highlighted in the course of the earlier presentation. So would you like to come and comment on these issues, please?
Hello. Respected Chair, Jay Sir, my colleagues, and all the audience. BEST is a distribution company supplying electricity to 10.57 lakh consumers in the island city of Mumbai. We have a long legacy of supplying electricity since 1905 to the city of Mumbai. When it comes to innovation, BEST has always been a pioneer in innovation when it comes to GIS, when it comes to SCADA. Way back in 1995, we had commissioned SCADA. Now, coming to the RDSS scheme, the RDSS scheme has a very holistic view compared to the other schemes, because AMISP, the smart metering project, can only be useful and the data can only be viable when it is integrated with other systems, that is the GIS, the other data analytics, the meter management system, OMS systems. When all these systems are integrated with the smart meter data, then can the benefits of the smart metering be completely taken by the discoms in improving their system. So there are two parts of the meterings. One is the system metering and one is the consumer metering. So the system metering, we have completed all the ABD meters, feeder meters. We have also integrated it with the NFMS system, with the central system where we are sending our data regularly. We have almost completed the DT metering. Up to 83% of the DT metering is completed by BEST. We have installed around 46% of the total meters of consumer metering. The challenges which we are facing while installing this meter is consumer resistance because of some myths being spread that the bill will be high, it will be changed to a prepaid meter. So whenever there is a reform taking place in the country or anywhere, there is always first a resistance from the public for the change. So here a big change is going to take place, and to accept that change, we need to educate the consumers, For that, BEST is already conducting camps in the societies. We are addressing this issue through the social media. We have been doing street plays. We are putting up banners. We are also planning to display in our buses the advertisements. At the same time, we'll also require the support of the government in the form of maybe a GR, which will help us to overcome this issue of public resistance. The smart metering part, the data and the journey toward data analytics. The first stage or the first basic foundation of the utility digitalization discom ecosystem is the meter data. So a huge amount of data will be coming in, flowing in from the system into the system. But now this data has to be structured properly in the structured manner in which it is required by the data analytics team and the artificial intelligence team, who can then work out and get the benefits of it. With the DT meters, we have we have already been able to identify the DTs which are overloaded through the DT metering, and we have taken steps to reduce those. At present, the DT failure rate in BST is very less than 0.5% overall. Also now we are monitoring the feeder overloads, preparing and planning with network schemes to overcome these issues. Though this smart metering project is a win-win situation for the consumer as well as the discom. For discom, we can give better services with the available data, plan the network, reduce the off-supply duration, improve the indices, give better service. On the part of the consumers, the consumer can see their consumption on the app. We have developed My Best app, on which we are showing hourly, weekly and monthly data. Directly, the real-time data can be viewed on the app by the consumer. So consumer has a better control on consumption of his daily consumption. He can monitor the billing, he can verify the billing data and confirm that the billing matches with the consumption. So there is a transparency which is created because of this smart meter ecosystem which we are creating. So it is, though it is a win-win situation, to change the mindset of the consumers as well as the mindset of the employees of the BEST. We are doing capacity building on one hand. On the other hand, we are encouraging the consumers to go for this bill. Again, the benefit, we have gone for a TOD tariff. So TOD tariff benefits can only be come when we replace these by smart meters, because in smart meters there is a facility to implement the TOD tariff. Whereas in the electronic meter it is difficult to implement the TOD tariff. So in the TOD tariff there is a rebate given in the daytime in certain hours, whereby the consumer can plan if he can see his consumption, that in what hour of the day he can reduce his consumption, he can manage his consumption and save his cost of electric supply. So such are the benefits and challenges. We have already seen that the timeline has got extended, but that is basically because being a discom, a utility, they have to deal with the end user. The end user is the consumer, which is a public, and to deal with public, you will always have difficulties, but we will overcome all those difficulties. And we are planning to complete our entire smart metering project with the help of MOP, and under the guidance of MOP, we are already into the next phase of data analytics, and soon we will be presenting some use cases to the MOPs. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Makwana-ji. Now, in this background, since there have been issues which have been highlighted regarding the SAT and DDF and the issues of timeline, at this context, may I request AIDA to take up this thing in discussion with distribution company and the AMISPs to give us an insight into what should be the way forward in settling these issues. And if that can be taken up by the AIDA, that would be a good help to us in taking up this issue. So, sir.
I would like to add what Shashank is saying. Exactly the same idea. Sir, we can have another working group on smart meters where the incremental lessons that are being learned, both by AMISPs as well as DISCOMs, are also shared, so that AMISPs and DISCOMs do not make the same mistakes that others have already made. So whether it is about implementation, whether it is about implementation of enforcement of contracts, those disputes, and how they have handled that, and how is the approach of DISCOMs evolving in using the smart meter data, because it is evolving. How is energy accounting taking place actually, and how is have they been able to make use of the data? Have they been able to do the consumer awareness? Have they, a very important thing I would like to say, we have to pay AMISPs, but at this time when we are doing conversion from a normal meter to a prepaid smart meter, 1 month of revenue loss, all the DISCOMs can not loss, delay. There will be a delay of almost 1 month of revenue, because when you are replacing the meter, your billing gets affected. You are no longer issuing a bill. Then when it gets converted to prepaid smart meter, it is a negative balance, and it is a very uphill task to convert that consumer from a negative balance to a prepaid positive balance. So we have to start from zero. We have to call each and every customer and then get them to recharge their prepaid meter. And since most of them are regular consumers who have been paying regularly, it will also not be a very justified thing to disconnect their connections and on such a mass scale. So that cannot be a solution to get those consumers compliant with the smart meter guidelines.
No, Shashank, this is a very valid point.
Sir.
So what comes out, AIDA will be very happy to do it. The working group have broadly 3 areas to address. One is what are the best practices for consumer engagement emerging, number 1. Number 2 is the contract administration. Whatever are the issues what are issues emerging and how best to handle. And third is the data usage. So maybe we'll have all these 3 issues. And we will also adopt the AMISP representative in the working group, because they bring a lot of rich knowledge. And maybe for secretariat, we'll take some support from NSGM or some other agency, so that because it will be a big task to take care. So and NSGM will be I think good. So we'll discuss.
Yes.
We'll take it forward. I think it's a good suggestion. Thank
Sir,
you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So going forward in this direction, we have Anup Kaur Chaudhary, CEO EDX Wireless. Mrs. Yeah, please. Yeah. So you would like to make a presentation?
Yes, I've got a presentation.
Okay, fine. So if you could quickly give your intervention on that. Yeah.
Sure. Maybe they've lost my presentation. Is it coming? Yeah, this morning. Yeah. Sure. While they get the presentation, I'll introduce myself. So Anup Bowdry, CEO of EDX Wireless. So today I want to talk about the challenges of smart metering and maintenance. There was a lot of questions on the panel when it came to digitalization, so I chose the one that's more pertinent to India at this time, which is deploying mass amount of meters and the challenges one sees with them. So when you think of smart meters, on paper it's pretty simple. You deploy, connect, and collect. But in actuality, that is not the case. Once you have an ecosystem there are a lot of things you have to take into account. Smart meters are on the intersection of hardware, connectivity, data, people and policies, which we all brought up about. People and policies, we've seen globally have been a problem. So the other thing to bring there is along with these 4 challenges, the major challenges we see are connectivity. If your mass meters are not deployed, and they're not deployed with the proper techniques, you're going to lose money. You're going to lose on manpower. You're going to lose out on all the CapEx and OpEx you provide and put in. This is where I need my slides. Oh, okay. And so we saw from global operators and utilities the problems they had. And I think India is at a great position to learn from all the mistakes, challenges and hurdles we've seen in the US, Australia, when it came to mass deployments. So for connectivity, when we look at connectivity, not one model fits all. Why? Because we have diversity. If you look at India, every state has a very different, diverse environment. You have buildings, you have terrain, you have rural areas, suburban areas. You put down your meters, and to connect back, it's not always going to work. Why? You have an RF signal. We're going into a technology where RF signal makes a big difference. You can put in a plug and play, but there's interference. You have operators with their frequencies you want to use. So it's very important that we have good propagation modeling. We saw in the US folks like PG&E who went out and deployed en masse in California. They didn't do any kind of modeling. They pushed out all the equipment, all the meters, and they had problems with connectivity because California, like some states in India, has mountains, has a beach, has very different environments. And what happened? They had to stop, restart again. But the other important thing to consider is people and policies. People, as in the consumers, like you've all mentioned already, were not accepting of new technology. They were not accepting of these new smart meters put in. They didn't trust the technology. They didn't trust they're going to be built the correct way. And they were very scared of RF signals and how it affects them. And that caused a massive problem in their deployment. They had to halt because people were like, no, we don't want this. So what they had to do is a consumer education. The government put together consumer education where they educated everybody on why this was a good idea, why it didn't affect their health, and how it didn't overcharge them. Because the other problem that happened is when you have mass deployment, you also need a big IT infrastructure because you're going to have real-time data, and that data is going to come in mass. If your backbone is not ready for that, you're going to fail. So putting that in place and charging the consumer correctly. Any mistakes, and you overcharge them, or you don't charge them, you're causing a mistrust with the public, and that is a problem. The other issue found and is needed is the buy-in from the government and from the regulators. They need to put into place standardizations. That way, everyone follows the same standardization, and you can deploy in a very smooth process. You avoid a lot of the problems and pitfalls you see. And I think learning from what's happened already and bringing it to India would be, I think, the best way forward to understand what happened and what they did. That way, you can accelerate your deployment faster. And then moving on, once you're deployed, you have a massive data, and that's when bringing in data helps. That's pointless now. All right, so this is what I'm speaking about, the major challenges. Scale meets variability. India is beautiful. India has a very different terrain everywhere you go. So you have to ensure that you have coverage. The problem isn't meters. Your hardware is there. The problem is connecting the meters back into your gateways and stations and having that connection. If you have mass deployment and your manpower doesn't deploy them correctly, you have a problem. Connectivity is often the weakest link. We're introducing now into utility space RF. It wasn't there before as such, and now it is. So now we have to deal with the sensitivity of RF. Integration complexity, sorry. This is another hurdle, and we see this in the US as well, where you have a number of vendors, technologies, all working together to be able to provide the Discoms information about their users, about predictive maintenance, and about all the issues you're going to see in the network and capacity planning as well. People and policy, huge. If this is not taken care of, it's going to cause even more delays than you already see. So one use case here from scale meets variability is from Canada, from Hydro One. Again, challenge, enormous area. They went out and installed meters everywhere and then found they didn't connect. Why? Because the RF conditions weren't correct and they didn't deploy properly. They needed to be able to do RF modeling. Connectivity and examples. So I brought some examples. I think it speaks volumes where people have done something and the lessons they learned, which we can leapfrog from, is Centerpoint in Texas. They have a very strong AMI mesh network, but they suffer from natural disasters. And they found they had packet losses and latencies issues. What did they do? They introduced a redundant backhaul link. Redundancy is very important. If you have one connection out, your grid goes down, you're going to lose connectivity. Redundancy is very important. So when you are planning, it's also important to plan how you connect back with natural disasters, because they happen. Integration complexity. So here's a use case from Ausgrid in Australia. So they had AMI data flow into separate systems. And so we have customer engagement, you got your CRM, your trouble ticketing, you had your demand management. And then the mismatch of readings, the problematic issues with tickets cause a lot of confusion and mistrust. So it is very important to have an enterprise layer to collect that data and to be able to report back seamlessly. Otherwise, you have serious problems. And that is true digitalization, is interoperability. People and policies, so I mentioned PG&E, a very famous use case where they had to stop and go in phases, buy in public and government standardizations for it to work. So the operational benefits to Discoms is efficiency. Efficiency is key. If you're not efficient, you're going to lose money with manpower, fixes, troubleshooting. They found with accurate and automated billing, which is where you want to get to with all that data you have, they saw a 20 to 30% improvement, which is a nice large number there. A loss reduction, real-time collection and visibility into technical and commercial losses, which is exactly when you want to get to when you have real-time data. Operational insight, you're able to make better decisions once you have that data. And then planning and forecasting, which is where you want to get to be able to address real tariffs, address your predictive maintenance, and then say, okay, well now my grid is working, I can now put efficiency in there and put solar in there, green in there. How do I make it sustainable? And then a use case there from Discom digitalization is from Florida, Power and Light, where they have automation and now they can be more proactive to issues found. So they connected over 5 million smart meters with sensors and outage management, and Florida is always sensitive to a number of natural disasters. So when they have their disasters, they found a reduction in outage, which is exactly what you want. You have an outage, your system goes down, your consumers are not using. You want them to be using, and emergency services to be able to use. Oh, my time's up. I'm just finishing off now. And that brings us close to the end, the last slide.
Sorry?
I'm at my last slide now.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. And then key takeaway, we're also doing AMI 2.0, where we're looking at more of the grid modernization and being able to be sustainable, introducing new technologies. And at EDX, come see us at a booth. We're doing a lot of work with global utilities in grid digitalization. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So very appropriately put that, communication is going to be the is one big challenge in the entire smart meter rollout, not just rollout, but even the execution part of the smart meter project. So already there have been issues which have started coming up regarding the non-communication and, a lot of meters going down into the NC mode. So that has to be handled on priority. Certain very good use cases you've presented. So I would like the distribution companies and the MISPs to give it a thought, how this could be appropriately addressed, and we would be in a position to let not this issue crop up into our smart meter project. Now going forward, we have representative from Kimball, Mr. Gurpreet Oberoi. In this context, if you would like to add how you have addressed the issues of interoperability, issues of connectivity, and the development of the use cases and analytics. So over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. What an amazing day. We have been hearing from Ministry, we heard from AMISP, we heard from a couple of OEMs, and it was a remarkable, enriching, we could get to know the challenges what the entire AMI space is facing. I have nothing much to add because a lot of things have been already covered. But I must say that AMI is a great vision of the Ministry of Power, the Government of India, which is of its own kind. It has never happened in the history. And if it gets implemented well, it will transform the entire power sector. We have no second doubt about it. There are ground challenges. Those ground challenges have created the implementation has become slow. It was supposed to get over by March 26, extended by another 2 years, and we hope we cover it by March 28. Multiple challenges came. I'll divide these challenges into two parts. The challenges what we have already faced, addressed, or they are still we are still addressing. And the second, the new challenges which we have been talking about, and we need to find a good solution, a concrete solution to address those challenges. So I will quickly take from the past challenges we faced. A couple of years before, in the similar forum, there was an apprehension from everyone whether the Indian industry will be able to supply this number of meters, whether we can do it or not. But today, the Indian industry is capable to deliver much more than what is required on the ground. There was an ecosystem like head-end system, MDM, cloud, connectivity. The entire ecosystem need to be integrated well, that there is a seamless data which is traveling from meter till and the bills have been generated and the timely billing is done, prepaid functionality is done, and that improves the cash flow and the AT&C. And today, we have a strong belief wherever the smart meter population, the states where it has been deployed, they have accrued a lot of benefit as far as the billing piece is concerned. So that challenge has been also overcome. We still facing certain challenges which are still under addressing, like consumer agitation. To large extent, that has also been taken care of. That similar kind of agitation, we are not facing it today. And we feel that is now more or less it is a past now. That is something will continue, we'll keep continuing to educate the consumer. They will also experience themselves the benefit of the smart meters what they are going to use, and that's a continuous process, the training and the education to the consumer, to the installers on the ground, that all the stakeholders are aligned to the smart meters per se. Now coming to the current challenges basically are two in my opinion. One is we need to accelerate the implementation. If we continue to do with a similar speed what we are doing today, which is good, I won't say that it's bad. It's almost 20 million meters have been installed in the first 7 months of this financial year, rather 6.5 months. I saw Mr. Rawal's presentation which substantiated that numbers. But if we have to complete 250 million today by 2028 March, the run rate requires some 7 to 8 million meters per month. And we are still at 40-45% of those numbers. So we need to accelerate, and that acceleration can come from multiple things which Mr. Rawal very well covered in his presentation, like the uniformity on the SAT. There need to be standardization. Why on SAT? Standardization on everything, whether it is a meter, whether it is SAT, whether it is FAT. So the supplies becomes faster it reaches to the ground faster and it gets implemented faster. Similarly, the payment mechanism or the AMISP, finally they are the one who are going to implement on the ground, and they need to be, whatever has been the spirit of the contract, they need to be paid as per the contract well on time so that the entire implementation take the acceleration, and there is a momentum in the speed of achieving this 7 million. So this is one, that we need to accelerate the current implementation from whatever the numbers we are doing, which is good, to a much better number so that we achieve our target date of March 28. And the benefit we can accrue only, the time is an essence of the project. If we take a lot of years in implementing the smart meter, probably that benefit will get lost somewhere on the way. So we need to ensure that it happens within the time. We are already late by a couple of years. Look at, I mean, I don't want to example, I'm the big envy of that country like China. They implemented something like 600 million meters in much faster time than what we are doing at. Now the second challenge, what the current challenge is coming, that so much of data which is coming through. We have addressed the challenge which was to reduce the AT&C, to make the utility profitable, to make the prepaid functionality applicable on the ground. That all challenges have been addressed. The second, we intend to use meter as a sensor, and it can use for an AMI too, where we can integrate all our future EV, renewable energy, integrated into the AMI system. And there is a single layer of the IT, which integrates to the entire utility for their demand forecasting, for their predictability. So, sir, I can assure you, this is very close to your heart. I know that you need to analyze the entire data and to come down to a conclusion. We as an OEM supplier will do everything. It's been still under discussion that what exactly is required in that. We are in discussion with all the stakeholders, the utility, the regulators, and to find out ask the right requirement, and we are capable. The Indian industry is capable, which they have proven in past also, that we'll be able to deliver to your cost.
Thank you.
Also. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Oberoi. So now we are coming to our last panelist for this panel. We have Mr. Anand Budolia, who is representing BSES. The BSES is one of the private utilities in Delhi, and now they've also started the rollout of the smart meters on a wide scale, on a large scale. So can we hear from you on the smart meter rollout, and also the issues related to use of data? Please, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm representing BSES. A little bit of context setting. With BSES, we serve approximately 52 lakh customers. 52 lakh of customers of the Delhi area with two companies, the BSES Rajdhani Limited and BSES Yamuna Limited. We have come a long way after the privatization some 23 years back. We started the digital business transformation journey, and we have improved on almost all areas of the Discom operations. We have come down from 55 plus percentage of the losses to today we are at to the tune of 6% of the losses in both the companies. So smart meter has not been a business case for us as far as reducing the losses are concerned or realizing the payments. For us, we have envisaged smart meter as a foundation of the digital transformation journey 2.0, which we say this is going to be the foundation for our next phase of digital transformation journey. We have created a use case for us to make BSES as a data-driven organization. In the area of Delhi, the rooftop, the uses of the rooftop, we have already 10,000 plus installations of rooftop. EV is going to be, is expanding day by day in order to have a environmental impact of the fossil fuel. So EV is going to add much more complexity. In Delhi, it is important that we manage the demand side management. our priority has been how we leverage the data which we are going to capture to meet the demand side management, understand the customer behaviors, as well as how we use in order to improve the reliability of the power. In that process, we have initiated a journey of putting up 100% meters on our distribution transformers. The project is on, and we will see that by Jan, we will have 100% distribution transformers deployed with the smart meters. And the initial strategy was to have all 52 lakh of customers with smart meters in order to leverage the data and use the data. But over the time and with experience from other utilities, we have again learned a lesson and changed the strategy to go in a phased manner. So the next phase, the first phase for consumer meters will be to identify certain categories of customers and consumers and deploy these smart meters. In terms of the challenges, what we have learned so far, the meter.
Sorry, Mr. Bhudolia, can I ask you to conclude your time?
Okay. I will just conclude.
Yeah, please.
We have learned few lessons which I would like to share with the audience. One, on the meter side, there is a lot of maturity apart from the set and standardization of the set, etc. But the telecom is going to be a key in terms of capturing the data. The other aspect is the HES. Interoperability of the HES is going to be very, very critical. And particularly when there is a phased rollout, it is important that all sort of meter works with all sort of HES. That is where the data model is one of the key in interoperability with open APIs where the integration becomes easy. The next most important component is the MDM. What we are doing is basically we are focusing more on the data engineering part because it is important that we capture the precise data which is required. Because if we miss some of the data will be lost. Or if we capture so much of the data and so much of the data is being created, it is going to be a challenge to handle that amount of the data. So the data engineering, according to us, is going to be the key success criteria for implementing and capturing the data. Last but not the least, as I was saying in one of the presentation, there is a very generic requirement of having AI/ML for data analytics. But believe me, creating even a single use case with the data and deploying the AI/ML technology in order to get the benefit is going to be a real challenge. So with so much of the data, simply making a dashboard or even having certain logics is not going to help. To use that data for the business use, it is important that we use the AI/ML. And for that, it is important that the IT, along with the domain experts, work together to create certain use cases and develop those POCs before deploying for any of the use cases. Last but not the least, cybersecurity is one of the most important aspect of, because we will be having so many of the end user devices. It is going to be complex in terms of the communication, the systems, etc. So we are going to create a SOC along with SMOC. So apart from the operating center, we have emphasized a security operations center along with our own smart metering setup to meet that requirement. And last but not the least, the manpower, the trained manpower and the skilled manpower is still going to be a challenge, which we have to collectively find out the way to solve this problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bhudolia. So, thank you for highlighting how the BSES intends to take forward the smart meter rollout. Now, we have the second panel, so I would like to thank here our first panelist. So, Reena, would you like to?
We will also request our panelists who will be leaving the dais to not go away because the felicitations will be done towards the end of both panels. So with that, we'll thank our current panel now, and we'll quickly maybe change the cards as well. So thank you so much to Shri Suresh Makwana, Shri Sandeep Sinha, Ms. Anup Kaur Bowdary, Shri Anand Budholia, Shri Gurpreet Oberoi. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a huge round of applause for them. And we will request you all to please stay with us, ma'am and gentlemen, because we'll be calling you back for the felicitation ceremony towards the end of this next panel. Let me now invite, and there will be a group photo like we've been doing in every session. So may I now invite for panel 2, Shri Atul Bali, Director NSGM, Shri Dwijadas Basak, CEO TPDDL, Shri Rahul Kumar, MD North Bihar Power Distribution Company, Mr. Tepo Hemia, CEO Wirepass, Shri Vivek Chandra, Head IT, MPP UK VVCL, and Shri Ashutosh Goel, CMD Allied Engineering Works Limited, as also Shri Jaideep Singh, Advisor Strategy and Stakeholder Engagement, Radius. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are our panelists. Their bios briefly being seen on the screen right now. And with that,
Thanks.
I'll hand over to the moderator.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have another set of esteemed panelists here on the dais. So without further ado, because we are already running much behind the schedule, so has everybody got seated? Done?
It's a bigger panel, sir.
It's a very big panel.
Okay, now we can move. It's ready now.
Thank you. So now we can start the panel discussion. I would request everybody to please stick to the timelines. We would have 2 minutes to speak from each panelist. And we would start with Mr. Rahul Kumar, MD, North Bihar Power Distribution Company Limited, to give the perspective of the distribution company. Yeah, please. Over to you.
Just 1 minute. The smart meter program is now well into implementation phase. So I would request the speakers not to get into the introduction of smart metering and how it is being implemented and this. And so come to your point straight away and try not to repeat what earlier speakers have said. Of course, you can emphasize certain points that you want to emphasize, even if at a cost of repetition. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Respected Chair, Jay sir, all the colleagues. Because of the paucity of time, I will directly come to our learnings in Bihar, because so far we have installed more than 80 lakh smart meters, and we represent almost 30% of the national smart meter market and 70% of the national smart prepaid meter market. So if we talk about the consumer acceptance, because in the first phase we faced a lot of resistance. So lots of awareness programs were launched at that point of time. But today our challenges are something different. So first, as many panelists have already spoken about the interoperability issue. So we are building an in-house RMS system, which will not only help to overcome the interoperability issue among MISPs, but also the non-smart prepaid meter, because in the next 2 years, it will take at least 2 years to cover rest of traditional meters. So our IT team is working with the smart meter team, and a certain kind of collaboration and coordination is required. So our RMS is going to address that part also. The second thing, our omni-channel CRM system. So we have come with this integration model, and we are integrating the smart prepaid meter with GIS, billing and customer care service. So if any customer is calling our customer care center, so based on his number, contact number or consumer number, so all the data is fetched on the screen, his exact latitude, longitude, his exact DT, feeder and account details. So it is adding to the consumer satisfaction and making things easier for us. Like many other speakers, we are also facing this issue because we are sitting on the gold mines of data, but we are not using it at all because the AI ML data analytics is still a certain distant thing for us. But we have started working on the SBD clause 6, and thanks to Alok sir last time when we spoke in Delhi. So we have asked all the MISPs to come with the energy accounting based on the consumer index. And yesterday when I was coming to Mumbai, so first MISP Secure has submitted first pilot data of energy accounting. So we are going to sit with all the MISPs and certainly it will help us control the operational expenses and other things also.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you, Rahul. So very appropriately put, you were the state of Bihar was one of the pioneers to roll out at such a large scale the smart meter program. And you've done it very well, and there have been definite benefits which have accrued to the distribution companies of Bihar. You've mentioned two important points regarding interoperability. So at this juncture, I would like to point out that the ministry has issued, or rather the CA has issued the guidelines on the interoperability of the HES and MDM. I would request all the distribution companies and the MISPs to please adopt that even in the current agreements, because that is going to help everyone out in the long run so that all our HES are interoperable. Second, we are already working on, as I mentioned, Powerthon solutions. So the new round of Powerthon 2 is underway, and this time we are envisaging that the good solutions which are developed in the course of this Powerthon 2, we are trying to devise a way for that to be procured, maybe at the ministry level or through some mechanism so that it could be rolled out across the distribution companies. So this is another thing that we are working on. So going forward in this direction, we have Mr. Basak, CEO, TPDDL, as a representative from the private utility. You would like to please give your insights. Thank you.
Good evening, all of you. Tata Power Delhi Distribution is a power distribution company. Since 2002, we are operating in north and northwest of Delhi. And in this journey, we were the first movers in smart meter journey. And since 2017, we had been experimenting with various technologies to start the smart meters. And we had been advocating with DRC also. And in the journey, we had first gone in for RF, and around 3 to 4 lakh meters are in RF now. Then gradually we have shifted to NB-IoT, and now we are also in 4G model. So the interoperability issue has been resolved to some extent by us through the NIC, by designing a universal NIC with some of the OEMs. So where I can shift between NB-IoT or 4G or 2G, and in the future maybe 5G also it will be experimented. But we are working whether we can do the interoperability between RF and cellular also, though it is in the experimentation stage, but we are hopeful for the success in that. Otherwise, like the cybersecurity is definitely a threat. We have gone for ISO 27001 structure, and also we have a cybersecurity central operating system who constantly monitoring the cybersecurity, and we are having the VSP done, the vulnerability tests to protect the entire environment. The OT part has been kept outside, like the OT part, the operational technology part has been kept in such a way that it is isolated from the web service. Now coming to the use cases, definitely the losses that we have is around 5%, so not much of usage in at present in AT&C loss reduction, but definitely there has been a lot of contribution of this smart meter in this journey since 2017, when we had come to the single digit, that is 9%. But going forward, smart meters had helped a lot in theft analytics and definitely in remote billing and in the collection.
Mr. Basak, can I ask a question
sure,
right now?
Sure.
Since you were already at 9% losses, what was the trigger to implement smart metering?
Actually, the trigger to implement, I will tell you, like in 2015, when we started the smart meter, that at that time we started for ADR, automated DR. It was never that the smart meter focus was on only meter reading and billing. The focus was on the future. That what, because as we are seeing, a lot of business cases are evolving, and smart meter has an immense potential through the data that they are generating. And maybe we do not know till now how much more the smart meter data can provide us insights. So it was never the tendency was to reduce loss, but it came definitely as a byproduct, but it was mainly for the futuristic distribution game. Like for example, in the outage management, we have synchronized or integrated with ADMS, and now we are having the last gasp technology. And this is the first time that in India last gasp technology is being used, and the settlement is done in the ADMS, so that now the customer doesn't have to call us. The meter tells us that I am out from the circuit. So we immediately, the crew is sent, and these are all automated. Then we see with like 30% of the inputs that were, the calls that we were getting from the customers were because of customers' internal wiring fault, for which the MCCBs were down. So now what is happening from the call center, they are sending a ping to the, this is called the ping technology, to the meter to see whether the meter is live or not. If I find that the meter is live, we are telling the customer that you get it rectified by your electrician, and we are not sending crews. So these 30% of the crews, their manpower I'm saving. So this type of asset utilization. In asset utilization, I'm utilizing it for DT swapping. Wherever it is underloaded, we are swapping the DTs. Then load balancing. We are using sensors, DIDO, that is the data, digital input and output.
May I like you to conclude?
Pardon?
See, the time is up, so if you would like to conclude at this point. Conclude at this point.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So by that we are monitoring the DT health. So, and then we are also using it for the distribution energy resource management, that is the DUMS software for BDR, behavioral DR, and P2P, peer-to-peer trading, prosumer concept. So all these experimentations are going on very successfully. And I think the scope of smart meter is immense. With the integration with the other smart grid technology, it gives a total through and through transparency from the grid up to the customer. And about the data, the millions of data, terabytes of data that are being produced, we have created a data lake architecture where all the data are shaped in, and then from over there we are using the AI technology platform for doing the analytics to get the insights, various insights. So it's an evolving thing that is going on. Thank you.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you, Mr. Basak. You very appropriately put that why you went ahead with the smart meter program despite having very less set of losses. Even today we have this question being asked by certain utilities, including the utilities, private utilities. Why should I adopt the smart meter program when I have so less losses? So it has a much wider implication, much wider benefits than just looking at getting into the loss aspect of the
Yeah, actually we have to be future ready. And
Exactly.
the entire network planning, load forecasting, power management, everything can be controlled through that. So the ultimate financial business impact is immense.
Yeah, thank you. So going forward in this direction, can we listen from Madhya Pradesh Pur Kshet Vidyut Vitran Limited, Mr. Vivek Chandra?
Hello. Good evening. Hello. Good evening, Chair sir. JS sir. Sir, coming on straight to the use cases, sir, all the introduction has already been given. I would like to emphasize that, sir, this introduction of smart meters has created a layered architecture, layered rather visibility, wherein we can, from the feeder to distribution transformers and for consumers, this all the visibility is now available. What happened, sir, during previous years, we had a lot of renovation schemes, but somehow the losses used to, say, fluctuate. Sometimes they got down and again, after due course of time, they again rose. But this is a sort of this smart metering has come as a, sir, ray of hope for the distribution companies, because now, sir, we have a very clear visibility up to the consumers. And, sir, we have taken up some use cases. We would like to explain, sir, although most of you might have, sir, already seen. Firstly, sir, when we talk of the system metering, the feeder meters we have, sir, installed all smart meters, complete feeder meetings we have done. And now we can see monitor the feeder-wise losses, billing efficiency, collection efficiencies, etc. Previously, we had this sort of a bahana रहता sir कि वो change over के कारण because of those things feeder-wise loss नहीं निकलता था. Now say suppose since we have meters across or even consumers also and for the distribution transformers also, so even if some change of feeder change is there, some changeover is also there, even then DT-wise losses we have. And the reliability indices, also we have, since we have the metered all consumers metered with smart meters, so we have, sir, reliability indices correct. Otherwise, it used to be, sir, erroneous. I mean to say that now the smart meters provide a very reliable data for calculation of the reliability indices. System planning, as sir said, is totally dependent on smart meter data. Now, after having the smart meters on the distribution transformers, they provide insights into loading patterns, voltage profile, and supply reliability, etc. And AI/ML-based analytics is being used to conduct DT failure analysis, helping to predict and prevent the transformer breakdowns. The consumer level meters, they provide accurate and transparent billing, enabling the real-time consumption tracking of consumers. The system provides complete visibility from source to socket, connecting each consumer digitally with power distribution network. सर मैं बस 2-3 बातें बताना चाह रहा था, कृपया सर 1 मिनट का समय मुझे दे दें कि what I would like to add what sir has mentioned कि जो हम लोगों ने use cases कुछ additional किए हैं, मतलब I would say शायद ही दूसरे डिस्कॉम्स ने किए हों. पहला काम तो सर हमने किया है, एज सर मेंशन की जो लास्ट गास की बात कर रहे हैं सर, लास्ट गास हमने ऑलरेडी सर यूज़ किया हुआ है और हमने ऑलरेडी फीडर से डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ट्रांसफार्मर की मैपिंग, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ट्रांसफार्मर से कंज्यूमर की मैपिंग और फीडर से डायरेक्ट कंज्यूमर की मैपिंग सर ये किया हुआ है. और उसमें लगभग हम लोग के सर 290 फीडर्स में हम काम कर रहे हैं सर. आउट ऑफ द आइडेंटिफाइड हमारे 650 स्मार्ट फीडर्स हैं और लगभग सर हमने 20 फीडर्स ऑलमोस्ट करेक्ट कर लिए हैं सर. बिल्कुल उसमें DT लेवल का लॉस भी सही आने लगा है और बिल्कुल सर मतलब वी हैव made a dashboard wherein we see the losses on a daily basis. Distribution transfer losses हमको daily basis पे दिखाई देता है. एक काम सर हमने ये किया based on मतलब consumer indexing हमने सुधार ली, otherwise which was not possible with other means. अभी तक वो possible नहीं हो पाया था सर. दूसरा काम हमने सर किया है कि जो 1912 का सर ये जो कॉल सेंटर का जो इंटीग्रेशन है सर, वो सर हमने सक्सेसफुली कर लिया है. अब सर जैसे सर ने बताया कि अगर फॉल्ट आता है, मान लीजिए तो अगर कंज्यूमर एंड का फॉल्ट है तो कंज्यूमर को इन्फॉर्म कर देते हैं. पर व्हाट वी हैव डन सर कि सिंस वी हैव नाउ द all consumers also having smart meters, DT is also having smart meters and feeders also having smart meters. Now we come to know कि कंज्यूमर का जो आइडेंटिफाई द फॉल्ट, जैसे ही कोई कंज्यूमर कंप्लेंट आती है, वी कम टू अंडरस्टैंड कि वो उसका जो मीटर है फॉल्ट उसका जो पोल एंड से फॉल्ट है उसका, या डीटी से फॉल्ट है उसका, या कि उसका फॉल्ट फीडर एंड पे है. तो अकॉर्डिंगली सर जो कंप्लेंट रिड्रेसल है वो टाइम भी बहुत कम हो गया, और साथ साथ में ये सर उसको इमीडिएटली हम कन्वे कर पाते हैं कि ये आपका फॉल्ट जो है अगर डीटी से है तो आपका टाइम रेजोल्यूशन काफ़ी कम होगा एज़ कम्पेयर टू अगर इंडिविजुअल है तो उस हिसाब से सर हमको वहाँ भेज के उसको लेटर जीप वगैरह भेजनी पड़ती है अकॉर्डिंगली सर. तीसरा काम सर जो हमने डिफरेंट किया है फ्रॉम आई वुड से मोस्ट ऑफ द डिस्कॉम्स, सर वी हैव स्मार्ट मीटर्स ऑन ऑल ओवर कैप्स्टर बैंक सर. तो कैप्स्टर बैंक हमारे सर वो रेगुलर मॉनिटर हो रहे हैं. पहले सर कैप्स्टर बैंक को चालू करवाना कठिन होता था, कुछ दिन चलते थे फिर बंद हो जाते थे. तो आजकल सर वी हैव कंप्लीट, और वो पूरा उसमें कितना उसका गेन हो रहा है सर, उसका रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट कितना आ रहा है, वो डेली बेसिस पे सर इन टर्म्स ऑफ अमाउंट वो निकल के आ रहा है सर. और सर एक बात और आई, जो एनोनिमिटी ऑफ डेटा की बात आई कि डेटा की सर बात आई, तो डेटा सर हम लोगों ने सर ये 15 फीडर्स हमने पहले सर स्मार्ट फीडर्स डिक्लेयर किए थे, उनको पहले कंप्लीट किया. उस फीडर का डेटा हमने सर वी हैव कंप्लीट डेटा सेट्स जो कि हमने सर रिसर्चर्स को और अकेडमिशियंस को ऑलरेडी वी हैव प्रोवाइडेड फॉर फर्दर इसमें सर AIML एप्लीकेशन के लिए. तो वो सर फ्रॉम फीडर डेटा, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ट्रांसफॉर्मर डेटा अलॉन्ग विद ऑल इवेंट्स एंड प्लस और कंज्यूमर डेटा दैट वी हैव गिवन सर थ्रू सर, जैसे कैगल का वो रहता है सर कंपटीशन, वी हैव इशूड ए कंपटीशन सॉर्ट फॉर दैट सर.
Thank you, Mr. Chandra. I would like to conclude. I would request you to conclude at this stage. So,
श्योर सर, बस मैं एक बात बताऊंगा सर कि मतलब ये जस्ट आई विल लाइक टू कंक्लूड कि सर इश्यूज रहा सर, जो इश्यूज का सवाल रहा है सर, ये तो मतलब सॉर्ट ऑफ एक इससे सर रे ऑफ होप डिस्कॉम्स के लिए. इश्यूज सर केवल एक मात्र यही थे कि सर जो कंज्यूमर्स एंड पे तो ठीक है सर रेजिस्टेंस है, जिसके कारण फीडर्स को कंप्लीट करना ही कठिन हो रहा है काम सर. और दूसरा सर कि हम लोग क्योंकि रूरल एरियाज़ में भी काम कर रहे हैं, 2 डिस्ट्रिक्ट हमारे यहाँ टोटल रूरल O&M डिवीजन्स हैं. उसके अलावा सर डीटीज़ में लगाना कठिन हो रहा है सर. अगर कंज्यूमर्स जहाँ पे कंज्यूमर मीटरिंग भी हो रही है वहाँ तो लगाना आसान है, बट उन दोज केसेज वेयर वी हैव ओनली सिस्टम मीटरिंग वेयर वी डोंट हैव स्मार्ट मीटर्स फॉर द कंज्यूमर्स, दैट इज लिटिल बिट डिफिकल्ट. क्योंकि कंज्यूमर्स सर वहाँ फीडर आइसोलेशन में डीटीज़ लगे हुए हैं, उनको सर वहाँ डीटीज़ लगाना और मेंटेन करना एक कठिन काम पड़ रहा है सर.
okay,
thank you sir.
So very useful insights you've shared, and I, because I've myself visited MP Purushet, so you know a lot of use cases which you've mentioned, I've seen them being implemented in your distribution company. So good that you've also floated a separate, or rather you have, you're conducting a hackathon. You're conducting a hackathon for data analytics. Yeah. So thank you for giving all such insights. Now may I request Mr. Tepo Hemia, CEO of Wirepass, to please give the insights into this. I would request you to stick to the timeline, please, and come directly onto the issue. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Chairman, panelists, ladies and gentlemen. Very nice to be here. Wirepass is a global wireless communication provider. We are #1 in mesh technologies for smart metering in Europe and in India. And I have a very brief case for the sake of saving some time. In India, we have 2 main technologies. No, I will help you on the timing.
Thank you.
So you have 2 main technologies here in India. So you have a cellular and a mesh. And they come with the benefits and challenges. So if you look at the cellular, the beauty of it is that there is infrastructure ready. It's fast to deploy, but there's also known limitations. It leaves black spots, pockets that are not connected. While RF mesh is a little bit the opposite. So you can achieve high coverage, very good performance, but on the other hand, you oftentimes need to build the infrastructure. The deployment is more laborsome. So we as a Wirepass, we wanted to take that challenge here in India because this is a very unique market. This is the biggest IoT project in the world with the scale, density, requirements that are totally different than anywhere else. So we wanted to bring a new concept that combines the best parts of these 2 worlds. So what we did was that we put the gateway that was the pain, if you like, in the mesh side, inside of the meter. So now the deployment is as easy, as fast as is the cellular deployment, but you get the performance with the first go. And we did a simulation with leading AMISP, with the operator. We shared the data. We took a challenging place of 25,000 meters. Of course, that's representing a challenging case. Based on the simulation, cellular achieved less than 40% coverage and connectivity, while this new concept first pass 98.7. And that gives you the idea that now we hopefully have a solution that can take both the speed, urgency, and also the performance into the game. Another thing that cellular has been offering to the market better than mesh traditionally is the interoperability. So we have done a specific effort integrating the meter manufacturers in India market, head-end system providers, and in a way where they don't need to touch their designs. And I would like to thank you, RDSS SPD program, because it's really unique, defining and specifying so accurately the meter function and the head-end function, enabling this type of interoperability bring up. And third and last thing is that we want to put our skin in the game. So as Anil sir said earlier, that we shouldn't give waivers to performance. We should request what is in SPD. So we are joining AMISP, taking the same pain that we are performance guarantee player. So if it doesn't deliver, you don't need to pay us. So we put ourselves on the same boat as AMISP, and we welcome all the ecosystem players to the same. Because in the end of the day, only that counts is the consumer experience. And the whole program will succeed for all of us better way if we all take that responsibility into the game. So that's in a nutshell my case, and just that don't accept best effort. Take responsibility, guarantee.
Thank you, Mr. Hema. You have very rightly said it's the entire ecosystem, which needs to work in sync.
Yes.
So you very rightly said, and meter manufacturers or the communication system providers or other such stakeholders are very well part of the game. Thank you. So now in this direction going forward, may I request Mr. Ashutosh Goyal, CMD AEW, to please give necessary insights, and I would request again to restrict to the time limit. We are already well past it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, Chair, panelists, and very good evening to all the esteemed guests present today. So while we are exploring today how we can extend the use cases of the AMISP program and smart metering, and we are talking about how from the plain vanilla metering applications, the smart meters should outperform and do applications like asset management or demand side management or demand response, etc., etc. So the base layer, but I would want to highlight, is the smart meter. And while we'll keep innovating and we'll keep finding new use cases as we move along, and there will be a lot of learnings as we are moving along already, but the installation of hardware is a one-time activity, and once done, there is no reversal, and if there is a reversal, it comes at a very high cost to the country. So my request is that we must highlight that the hardware has to be scalable with 10-year vision. So in a meter, there is a hardware and there is a software. Software is something which we can still play along, and on the go, we can keep upgrading the software, we can keep modifying, adding new use cases. But there is no way that a hardware can be modified easily in the field. So today, the black box, which is the hardware, has to be so robust, so scalable, and somehow, sir, the program itself needs to probably set the basic hardware upgrades which are today we are forcing. So it has to be beyond what was probably 3 years ago, because 3 years ago, probably we were we were addressing, as Rahulji said, that we were addressing the basic energy losses and the billing losses. But today, as we are moving along, we will definitely see many use cases, and therefore the hardware must evolve. And therefore there is some amount of additional requirement. For example, how the input-output ports can be analog. We are totally missing out the home area network in today's context of deployment. How we can bring along all of these things, and which can help us to scale up the program at a later stage. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Thank you. Thank you for being very precise and succinct in your presentation. Now, may I request Mr. Jaideep Singh, Advisor Radius, to... You have a presentation? Yeah, so please stick to the time limit. Thank you.
Hello. Very good evening to respected Chair. Shashank ji, MOP Joint Secretary, to distinguished guests. Can I have my presentation, please? So I'd like everybody to just leave you guys with some thought. There were certain key words that have been used today. One, of course, is data. Second is real time. And third is acceptance. So having said this, let me say that data needs to change to information. Data is always available. What we need is information. Real time is something that we need to do. We need to do granular data mining so that we can have better information. And in terms of scalability and acceptance, I think we need to have technologies that will help both the distribution, discom and the consumer to accept this. So I think everybody uses the UPI and banking apps. The confirmations that you get in real time primarily build consumer confidence. Similarly, if you're looking at a Google map, I think everybody uses it. And these are all informed decisions that you're getting. So if you want to arrive, somebody's arrival or departure, etc., everything is being mapped and is all being done in real time. So it's just giving you a lot of comfort. If you look at one of the statements made by our Honorable Minister of Power, he also talks about real-time data from multiple sources. So again, there's a lot of stress on real-time data, and all my panelists and a lot of other people have always been using this terminology. Interestingly, in the Lok Sabha, there was a question starred 307, and in that also, the reply from the Ministry of Power was very clear. It was real-time information to consumers to plan their uses of electricity. So I'm again stressing the point that it is not data, but it is information. So you need to have data analytics, you need to have real-time data and to the consumer so that the acceptability goes up. Now, just very briefly, I'm going to touch, because of paucity of time, what exactly is real-time and how do we achieve it?
Jaideep, you have to be really precise because you have very short time.
Yeah, so very quickly, so this is achieved through the network interoperation cards and the HES. So what we're trying to say is that you have multiple telemetry at very high frequency so that it gives you more number of samples which you can analyze. So today in the day of AI and ML, do you want the meter just to be smart or do you want it to be intelligent? So I think it's moving from smart to intelligence. You need to have distributed intelligence so that you reduce the load on the cloud services, you reduce the computing in the meter, and you put the computing more on the NIC level. Just some case studies that we have done. We have implemented certain feeder and distribution monitoring systems in JPDCL, where you can see that the capture time is 4:16, 53 hours to 4:18. So within 2 minutes, we are getting the data samples. Similarly, for multi-point prepaid consumers in the UPPCL, PVNL, ML circuits, we're also using high-frequency data, where every interval, consumption, etc., is given to the consumer. So he knows what number of units he has used and what is his actual charge and balance. So it's not that he gets a surprise at the end of the day or in the beginning of the day. So all I have to say is that real-time data, and looking at this, we need to ensure that we get, and the outcomes that we get will be improved SLAs, of course. The utilities will get to know any faults, anomalies that are happening. From a cyber security perspective also, you will have earlier intervention and you will know if there is anybody trying to play with your system. So I think an overall enhancement both for the DISCOM and the consumer will bring in better experiences, acceptance, and will bring the scalability to the program. So my humble request is that the policymakers, regulators, and discoms demand interoperability real time, and which is possible and it is available, and make sure that this really happens. And of course, finally, to make this RDSS scheme a success, and with our Prime Minister's vision of a Viksit Bharat with the Make in India program. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You've given a very good intervention regarding the edge computing and the issues regarding interoperability. So very well, you very well put it. So I would like to thank you, Jaideep. Now we have the last panelist. Thank you. We have the last panelist, Mr. Atul Bali. Baliji, may I request you to keep it brief to the way forward for how the ministry or you as a contributor to policy making, how do you think that should be the way forward? So over to you.
धन्यवाद शशांक जी. बेसिकली आई एम अ पार्ट ऑफ MOP एंड एक्सटेंडेड आर्म, तो मेरे तो बोलने की आवश्यकता भी नहीं थी, लेकिन एनीवे आई एम पार्ट ऑफ पैनलिस्ट. तो आई एम फॉर्चुनेट एनफ टू बी पार्ट ऑफ दिस जर्नी सिंस स्मार्ट ग्रिड पायलट्स एंड एवरीथिंग. So we have tested the technology, digitalization as very well put up by, I think, Tata Power and proven by Indore in the public utility. The smart meter is not meant for losses. That is just an ancillary product as such. It is complete value unlocking. If you want to run a grid after 2030, then smart meter is a must, because that will provide you the grid visibility. DR penetration, EV, everything what is coming into the discoms and discom paraphernalia, that will be manageable when you have a smart grid. And I want to clear a conception, a misconception. Mr. Soni is here. He has been managing our transmission system. When we talk of real time when we have to operate in less than milliseconds. This is not the real time information what we are getting from smart meters. In near real time, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, these are the blocks we are getting. Even if we are getting that information, fair enough. Now coming to the digitalization, because the topic was smart grids is the foundation block of the digitalization of the utilities. In that I would like to highlight, start from the basic premise, consumer indexing. When we talk of consumer indexing, if there is an issue with the consumer indexing, then it will be garbage in, garbage out. All energy audit reports would be false. In that, various TSPs are coming. They are providing, matching the voltage profile and all that. Auto indexing, they are calling it as, because that is the everything would be run. So I would like to have that adoption by the utilities. As regard others, there are consumer notifications. We have issued guidelines from the ministry. Consumer notification, neutral earth leakage, other faults, that should be given. That can be provided, as last case has been told, that has been facility in the smart meter. But other things are also available which can very well empower the consumer. So that should be given, that should be adopted. Section is there regarding this analytics reports. That report should be imbibed. And there are the processes, and we have also spoken with a certain AMISPs to develop use cases like peer-to-peer, demand response, and like asset management, very well told. And I think even you would like to go through the, I think even some of the panelists here also have been demonstrating. We have given DT meters with digital inputs. So that digital input should be utilized. That is the path to manage the DTMS. And I would like to add one more thing. We are also testing, we'll be showcasing in the Indian International Trade Fair as well, integration of the mobile apps with the home automation, other things like ACs and everything. So that will give me, my consumer or myself as a consumer also, the more important I should be able to manage based on insights, my equipment, other thing. That will give us a real unlocking. So these are the things I think, and along with that, definitely interoperability. Shashank ji has already mentioned, even Basak ji was mentioning. I would like to share that. That's a very good news. Alok Kumar ji is there. At that time, he initiated that, and we have incorporated in the SBD. Now, the meter with the definite pin configuration, there is the interoperability of RF as well as GPRS module that is possible. MOP, CA has already issued the guidelines. I think slowly AMI should adopt that. And based on that, I think even changing we call it modular, that will be easily possible. He was talking of 3G, 4G. Now the RF and GPRS shall also be possible. Same pin firmware, some design changes have to be done. I think these are the premises on which I think this foundation block, smart meter would act as a foundation block and will give the value to the discoms, what they are aspiring from, apart from this loss reduction that will give a just basic building block and longer life and everything. That is the basic thing. Thank you, Shashank.
Thank you. So with that, we conclude all the panelists. Now may I request chairman of the session to give his remarks. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Shashank, for moderating this session. I would thank the previous panel as well as the current panel on giving the perspectives of smart meter program. There have been perspectives from DISCOM, from service providers, from AMISPs, and from policymakers. So the various topics which have been covered include connectivity and how important it is, the complexity of integration, and governance and coordination, how they are important. And I would especially like to congratulate Ms. Anoop, who gave a very short presentation, but it was a very, very point-hitting presentation where she has covered the whole AMISP program as to the 4 points that we need to focus on. And IntelliSmart CEO, Mr. Anil Rawal, raised about contractual issues with DISCOM, timelines, and highlighted the manpower and the training issues which both the AMISPs as well as DISCOMs face while implementing this program. As Shashank JS of Ministry of Power has expected AIDA to make a working group on sharing the experiences on smart metering rollout, and our DG sir has very kindly consented to it. Rahul from North Bihar shared how they worked well on consumer acceptance and awareness, and their experience with energy accounting, development of RMS, and raised the issue of interoperability of HES and MDM, which is going to become a very, very crucial issue in implementation. And Mr. Basak mentioned about how they envisaged the smart meter program not as a loss reduction program, but as a program to make the DISCOM future ready. So it is like a health band on the wrist of the DISCOM that they have to improve their health not only in commercial matters but also in operational and technical matters. So if you want the DISCOM to be future ready, the smart meter is the first thing to implement, and if we can implement it well, then there are more things to come. Then there will be smart transformers, then there will be smart circuit breakers, and then probably smart insulators and smart wires. Who knows what smartness DISCOMs can aspire to. And so I would not like to mention each and every panelist. I don't want to repeat what they have said, but it has been a very, very useful session as far as this distribution utility meet is concerned. And let me tell you, the more we discuss this smart meters, the more we will come to know that how little we know about this smart meter. So this discussion needs to continue, not only in DUM but elsewhere. And I am sure there will be many more platforms where we will be discussing smart meters and what all it can do. And there will be a AIDA conference of DISCOMs very soon in January, and there is a national workshop on AIML I think in December first week. So there will be many more platforms, and my request to DG AIDA sir would be to encourage DISCOMs as well as AMISPs to share their best practices as well as challenges, so that we can also learn from each other as we implement the program. Thank you very much to the whole panel. Thank you, Shashank. You did a wonderful job as a moderator. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to our chair and our eminent moderator, our esteemed panelists. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we now request our chair to help us thank all our speakers. So I'm going to invite back our panelists of panel 1. May I invite Shri Suresh Makwana, Shri Sandeep Sinha, Ms. Anoop Kaur Bowdary, Shri Anand Budholia, Shri Gurpreet Oberoi to kindly grace the stage once again so we can take a moment and thank you. And with that, I'm now going to request our chair to kindly do the honors and first begin by thanking our moderator, Shri Shashank Mishra, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Power, with a small token of our appreciation. So I request Shri Ashish Kumar Goel to please begin with our moderator, Shri Shashank Mishra, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Power. Let's have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Shri Anil Raval, MD, IntelliSmart and Chair of ISGF Working Group on AMISPs. So, Shri Anil Raval, let's thank him. Ladies and gentlemen, Shri Anil Raval, MD, IntelliSmart and Chair of ISGF Working Group. And now our panelists, Shri Suresh Makwana from Best Mumbai, takes it. Let's have a huge round of applause for him. Shri Suresh Makwana, the Chief Engineer, Best Mumbai. Shri Sandeep Sinha, Vice President, Sales, Trilliant Networks. Let's hear it for Shri Sandeep Sinha, Vice President, Sales, Trilliant Networks. And now, Ms. Anup Kaur Baudry, CEO, EDX Wireless. Sureshji, we have done the honors for Shri Suresh Makwana. After that, Shri Sandeep Sinha. Now, Ms. Anup Kaur Baudry, CEO, EDX Wireless. Let's hear it for the lady, please. And now, Shri Anand Budholia, President, IT and CIO, BSCS. Shri Anand Budholia, President, IT and CIO, BSCS. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, for all of them. Shri Gurpreet Oberoi, Chief Business Officer, Kimball. Shri Gurpreet Oberoi, Chief Business Officer, Kimball. Let's have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Shri Gurpreet Oberoi. Thank you, sir. And now, for panel 2, Shri Atul Bali, Director, NSGM. Let's have a round of applause for each of our wonderful speakers. Thank you. Shri Dvijadas Basak, CEO, TPDDL. And let's have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Shri Dvijadas Basak, CEO, TPDDL. Shri Rahul Kumar, MD, North Bihar Power Distribution Company Limited. Shri Rahul Kumar. Let's have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. And Mr. Tepo Hemia, CEO, Wirepass. Mr. Tepo Hemia. Can we have a round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen? Shri Vivek Chandra, Head IT, MPP UK VVCL. Let's have a round of applause for Shri Ashutosh Goyal, please. Thank you, sir. And finally, may I invite Shri Jaideep Singh, Advisor Strategy and Stakeholder Engagement, Radius. Ashutosh ji ka nahi hua? Ashutosh Goyal ji, CMD, Allied Engineering Works Limited. And now, Shri Jaideep Singh, Advisor Strategy and Stakeholder Engagement, Radius. And Shri Suresh Makwana ji has... Shri Suresh Makwana from Best Mumbai. And now we'll hold you back, esteemed dignitaries, for a group photograph. So please give us that opportunity before you go. And ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed to the next session, which is an equally compelling one, I have a request for you to stay back till the evening. We have a fabulous cultural program this evening, which is very refreshing after a long, meaningful day. It's going to be our opportunity to unwind, relax, and enjoy a beautiful program. So I urge you to please stay back with us through the evening.